दे शिवा बर मोहे है, शुभ कर्मन ते कबहू न डरूं। न डरूं अर सो जब जाए लड़ूं, निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करूं। अर सिख हो अपने ही मन को, एह लालच हों गुणतऊ चरूं। जब आव की औध निधान बने, अतहीं रण में तब जूझ मरूं।
Dear God, grant my request so that I may never deviate from doing good deeds, that I shall have no fear of the enemy when I go into battle, and with determination I will be victorious, that I may teach my mind to only sing your praise, and when the time comes, I should die fighting heroically on the field of battle.
I do not have to tell you who won the war. You know the artillery did.
The Mughal Emperor Babur is popularly credited with introduction of artillery in India in the Battle of Panipat in 1526, where he decisively used gunpowder firearms and field artillery and defeated the much larger army of Ibrahim Lodi, the ruler of Delhi Sultanate, thus not just laying the foundation of the Mughal Empire, but also setting a precedent of all future battles in the subcontinent. The East India Company raised the first regular company of artillery in 1748, with a small percentage of Indian gunners called gun lashkars, tindals and serans. A few Indian mountain artillery batteries officered by the British were raised in the 19th century and formed part of the Royal Artillery. The Royal Indian Artillery of the British India Army was raised on 28 September 1827 as part of the Bombay Presidency. It was later renamed as 5 Bombay Mountain Battery and participated in the First Anglo-Afghan War. The Khalsas have been known to be proficient gunners. As the empire of Maharaja Ranjit Singh spread across Hindu Kush, the might of Zamzama, the biggest cannon thundered in the air with the mighty Khalsas getting the enemy to the knees. After the extensive participation of artillery in the First World War, the Regiment of Artillery was raised on 15th January 1935, when the first 3 Indian Field Regiments, originally numbered Alpha, Bravo and Charlie, were authorized. The artillery proved its mettle during World War II also. After the partition of India, the Regiment of Indian Artillery was divided between the newly formed Artillery Regiment of India and Pakistan. In the coming years, the artillery took part in all the operations fought by the Indian Army, the latest being the Kargil War, where the artillery played the most prominent role. Khalsa is a philosophy centered around freedom and the struggle against injustice and bigotry. The Khalsas have stood the test of time, weathering numerous storms since their inception. I, the 79 Medium Regiment, was born on 1st March 1967. Today, let's hear about my glorious 50 years. I was raised at Belgaum as a pure Sikh unit under the stewardship of Lieutenant Colonel C.M. Gupta, Vishisht Seva Medal, with 130 mm guns as the colors of the regiment. The nucleus of the manpower was drawn from 24 Medium Regiment, 39 Medium Regiment and 92 Field Regiment. The raising team included Second in Command, Major A.J.S. Mehta, Adjutant Captain R.K. Khanna, Quartermaster Captain J.S. Bains, Battery Commanders Major T.S. Bajwa, Major H.S. Gill and Major Ashoka Kumar, OCRHQ Major S.N. Koparkar, Survey Officer Lieutenant SPS Garcha and Subedar Major Mehma Singh.
Bole so nihal, Sat Sri Akal is our war cry, which means blessed is the person who says God is the truth.
After the successful amalgamation and learning the ropes, the unit moved to Chandi Mandir, where the command was handed over to Lieutenant Colonel G.A. Dhareshwar. Under his command, the unit showed baptism by fire when called upon in Operation Cactus Lily during 1971 war. The mobilization order for the operation was received on 13th October 1971. 791 and 792 medium batteries were deployed near village Budhai in support of 116 Infantry Brigade on 16th October 1971, and 793 medium battery was deployed independently. 791 medium battery was deployed west of the twin canals on Muktasar Jalalabad Road, where we fired the first round in the war.
I was the last officer to join the regiment prior to the 1971 operations. I joined directly after my VIOS course on the 30th of October. The regiment had already moved from its peacetime location at Ambala and was in the concentration area at village Badhai on the Muktasar-Jalalabad axis. By the time the war broke out, mine was the only battery left in the sector, as 792 medium battery was deployed in Rajasthan earlier and 793 medium battery was moved overnight to support the counter-attack in Fazilka. My battery was designated as Sierra Battery of 165 Field Regiment, commanded by Colonel Dodi, and proceeded to conduct what must certainly be the first night deployment without daylight reconnaissance by any RT unit during Cactus Lily. Hangover of the war persisted. In December 72, the regiment moved to Pokhran for the first practice camp after the war. The IG Major Pushpinder Singh was entrusted with the task of training the unit. He wanted us GPOs to conform with the procedures as stipulated in the 3.2 of 64, whereas we would always question the manual, saying that we never did it like this during the war. In exasperation, Major Pushpinder threw his hands in the air and shouted, "For God's sake, will you guys forget the war?"
On 9th December 71, the regiment less 792 medium battery fired the fire plan to damage Beriwala Bridge in Fazilka sector and many enemy bunkers. Village Hamelowala was targeted to neutralize enemy reinforcements. 793 medium battery also engaged the enemy ahead of Nagi Post and ensured success of 4th Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, to capture the enemy objective.
When we were deployed in Fazilka, on the Beriwala Bridge, our 2 infantry tanks failed. And we had about 1800 rounds of 130 ammunition, practice ammunition lying with us extra. So when I was doing the adjutant, at midnight I checked up with the SO1 RT that since the attack has failed, a number of infantry company commanders have already sacrificed their lives. We must take some revenge from them. So I told them that I have got a lot of ammunition. I first talked to my CO that I would like to fire it on across the bridge. Then I topped up all the guns up to 31 kilometers range. And one GPO was Rana, one was Sharma, the third one I don't know. And the guns were fired continuously.
After the glorious and historical conclusion of the war, the regiment, with its head held high, moved to Ambala under the command of Lieutenant Colonel B.S. Dhawan. In the peacetime, the spirited Khalsas scripted what later became the bedrock of the regiment's excellent history in sports. In 1973, the regiment proved its mettle again and stood first in the Brigade Gun Drill Competition and Football Championship. In 1974, Lieutenant Colonel N.N. Kharbanda assumed the command of the regiment. It was under his leadership that the unit rose to achieve greater laurels in the field of sports by winning the first Artillery Brigade Hockey and Cross-Country Championships. The regiment continued its winning streak in 1975 and won the Brigade Hockey Championship in succession. In 1977, the baton was passed over to Lieutenant Colonel Gurdayal Singh. The regiment yet again stood victorious in the Inter-Unit Cross-Country Championship and was feared contestant in other sports. In March 1980, the command was taken over by Lieutenant Colonel M.Y. Sohoni. The regiment then moved to Dalogra in Rajouri sector with 792 medium battery at Poonch. This was the time when the unit was converted to 5.5-inch howitzers. It was the only medium regiment in support of 25 Infantry Division. During this tenure, the regiment once again stood first in inter-unit cross-country and basketball competitions. In 1981, the YO of the regiment, Lieutenant J.S. Bedi, who later rose to the rank of Major General, brought laurels to the regiment by winning the coveted Silver Gun Trophy. In November 1981, the unit moved to Faridkot and stayed there till March 1988. During this period, the regiment was commanded by Colonel S.J.S. Chabba for over 4 years, 8 months, followed by Colonel Deepak Sethi. During this period, the regiment took part in Operation Blue Star and Operation Woodrose in the most sensitive area of Punjab, at that time covering Moga, Faridkot, Bagha Purana, Kotakpura, including Bhindarwale village. This period also coincides with the golden era of the unit's achievements, both in training as well as sports. The unit took the entire division by storm by being champions in maximum competitions. Here we can't forget our national 20-kilometer champion, Honorary Captain Baldev Singh, whose innumerable achievements will be covered subsequently. It was during this period that the unit Bhangra team represented the Regiment of Artillery. From January to June 1987, the regiment took part in Operation Trident in Fazilka and Ganganagar sector. 79 Medium Regiment holds the distinction of being one of the first units chosen to be converted to 155mm field howitzer Bofors guns. The unit was posted with Bofors-trained stalwarts led by Colonel Deepak Sethi. Upon receiving the new guns and gun towers on 10th December 1987, the unit became the cynosure of all eyes. The officers loved to demonstrate the system to other units and visitors with pride and flamboyance. The unit has the privilege of displaying the weapon system for the first time to the entire nation in the Republic Day Parade of 1988, led by Captain Rakesh Kumar. In 1988, the regiment then moved to Menla under 27 Mountain Artillery Brigade under the command of Colonel Deepak Sethi. The unit was the first to introduce Bofors gun system into high-altitude areas of Sikkim. In January 1990, Colonel K.K. Kohli took over as the Tiger of the regiment. Under his command, the regiment then moved from Menla to Firozpur. The regiment was recognized for its professional excellence by participating in numerous discussions and exercises in 33 Armored Division. It has honor of converting 288 Medium Regiment to 155mm Bofors. It also won most of the sports events in 33 Artillery Brigade. The regiment thereafter was taken over by Colonel Anil Nakra, Sena Medal, and that was the momentous occasion for the unit, as he was the first young officer of the unit to take over the reins. In his tenure too, the regiment continued its great performance in the field of sports. In September 1993, the regiment moved to Old Airfield, Srinagar, under 15 Corps Artillery Brigade in Operation Rakshak, with one battery deployed at Siachen Base Camp in Operation Meghdut. The regiment played an active role in both operations. Some of the achievements in the valley was successful conduct of intense counter-insurgency operation in Gund, Sonamarg, convoys to Patan and Banihal, and ROP duties at Rawalpora were conducted without any major casualty. The regiment, for its firing prowess, was tagged as the Big Guns by the Kashmir Times. At Srinagar in April 1995, Colonel R.H. Vardhan took over as the commanding officer, and the unit was also de-inducted to Jhansi. In spite of coming from counter-insurgency operations environment, the regiment once again distinguished itself professionally in the Armoured Division and was heavily dependent on for various professional discussions and battle procedures. It also excelled in sports like hockey, boxing and cross-country and was deservingly crowned the Brigade Champions. Colonel A.K. Ahuja assumed command in June 1997, and under his stewardship, the unit had the proud privilege to participate in Operation Vijay, wherein the regiment had to deploy and relocate as per operational requirements. It once again carried out its assigned role exceptionally well. This was also the time when the regiment conducted trials of Krasnapol ammunition. June 1999 saw the commissioning of the first second-generation officer in the unit, making 7 to 9 a tradition. Today there are 4 second-generation officers in the unit: Colonel Puneet Sangera, Colonel Arjun Pratap Singh Chabba, Major Sunil Jakhad and Captain Prateek Singh Bedi. The unit also boasts of 8 second-generation JCOs and OR. In 2000, the command was handed over to Colonel J.S. Bedi, and the unit moved to highly active field area, where the unit was deployed from Dras, Chalunka Post to base camp and even eastern Ladakh, along the entire frontage of 14 Corps. It provided effective firepower for the complete corps in some of the most challenging conditions, destroying bunkers at point 5353 in Dras, bunker in Kargil and various engagements in Batalik sector during Operation Parakram. During this tenure, the regiment took active part in Operation Meghdut and Operation Rakshak. During Operation Parakram, the guns fired more than 16,000 rounds and has a unique distinction of destroying an enemy mortar position in Dras sector. The period from 1988 to 2003 was not only professionally enriching as the unit participated in various operations, but was also a golden era, wherein all the 4 commanding officers in succession, that is, Colonel K.K. Kohli, Colonel R.H. Vardhan, Colonel A.K. Ahuja and Colonel J.S. Bedi rose to be generals in the Indian Army. After the challenging tenure under 14 Corps, the unit moved to Ambala as a part of 1st Artillery Brigade in 2003, and the baton got passed on to Colonel Surendra Singh, who commanded till June 2006. In July 2006, the unit had the distinction of being the 1st Artillery Regiment to move to Patiala under the stewardship of Colonel B.S. Mahala, and was the occupant of the same location where we are today. The regiment proved its mettle again by winning 1st Armoured Division Hockey Championship in 2007. In April 2008, the regiment moved from Patiala to Menla as part of 17 Mountain Division. In February 2009, Colonel Somnath Gupta took over command from Colonel B.S. Mahala, and under his stewardship, the Gundettes participated in Republic Day Parade at Kolkata. The regiment also won the Best Mounted Contingent Trophy. Blazing Bofors Cycle Expedition was the first adventure expedition which was organized by the unit, as part of which, after traveling a total distance of 838 km starting from Nathula Pass, the expedition ended on 182nd Gunners Day at Headquarters, Eastern Command, Kolkata. The regiment has a rich tradition of Bhangra and maintained it wherever it moved. On 15th September 2010, the regiment Bhangra team performed in front of Chinese delegation at Nathula Pass during the border personnel meeting and was greatly praised by the Chinese officers. In January 2011, the regiment moved to Gurgaon as part of 40 Artillery Division, which also saw the change of command from Colonel Somnath Gupta to Colonel Manoj Bhatia. Under his command, the regiment rose to the challenges of peacetime soldiering in the national capital. Who can forget the rescue of a girl child, Mahi, from an open bore well, 70 feet deep in village Khol near Manesar on 21st June 2012, which was live on national media. The regiment successfully carried out ceremonial duties with provision of special guard at Amar Jawan Jyoti, participation of Gundettes in Army Day Parade, and was also intrinsically involved in the conduct of Army Day Parade and Republic Day Parade. The regiment carried forward the tradition of excelling in sports, and our cross-country team stood first in 40 Artillery Division Inter-Unit Cross-Country Championship. In June 2014, the regiment moved from Gurgaon to Durgmulla under 28th Artillery Brigade. The unit was deployed along the entire frontage of 28th Infantry Division, including Gurez sector. On 14th March 2015, Colonel Manoj Bhatia handed over the baton to Colonel Puneet Sanghera, the first second-generation officer to take over the command of the unit. Under his command, the regiment had an immensely successful tenure and excelled in the entire spectrum of operations. The regiment contributed significantly in infantry and Rashtriya Rifles' predominant counter-terrorism operations like Operation Gurdaji Nar and Operation Marsari. The regiment was credited with rewriting the narrative in Kashmir Valley in the manner it handled the adverse internal security situation in the summer of 2016. After successful surgical strikes, the line of control witnessed an increase in ceasefire violation, infiltration attempts and border action team action by the enemy. In these challenging situations, the regiment inducted 155 mm Bofors on mighty Shamshabari range, a first in 28th Infantry Division sector, and had the privilege of engaging enemy by direct fire assault in Operation Thunderbolt, Operation Kiran II and Operation Agni Varsha. The accurate and heavy volume of fire resulted in killing of 25 enemy personnel and destruction of 16 well-fortified enemy bunkers. The officers and men displayed dauntless courage and indomitable spirit in the face of enemy. The regiment, despite its widely dispersed deployment over the vast divisional frontage, conducted punitive fire assaults across the line of control under effective enemy fire and carried out active internal security tasks, de-inducted with many laurels and an incident and accident-free tenure. The result-oriented approach by the regiment ensured genuine goodwill, bonhomie, peace and tranquility in the areas of responsibility, even during serious turbulent periods elsewhere in the valley. In June 2017, the regiment moved to Patiala under 1 Armoured Division. The regiment has produced numerous men of courage and valor, leading from the front. Colonel Anil Nakra, Sena Medal. Major T. Divakaran, Sena Medal, did the unit proud when he was awarded Sena Medal Gallantry while serving with 34 Rashtriya Rifles in Jammu and Kashmir. Gunner Dilbag Singh, Sena Medal, while serving with 34 Rashtriya Rifles Battalion at Birwa in Jammu and Kashmir, was awarded Sena Medal Gallantry posthumously for his valor and raw courage regardless of personal safety. Havildar DMT Gurtar Singh, Sena Medal, while serving with 28 Rashtriya Rifles Battalion at Mohalla, Jammu and Kashmir, was awarded Sena Medal Gallantry for his courage and valor during an operation. Apart from displaying valor in the battlefield, the regiment has also produced various sportsmen of great national and international repute. Honorary Captain Baldev Singh represented India in 20-kilometer walk at the Seoul Asian Games. He also participated in the World Cup 20-kilometer walk championship held at Spain and America. With hockey and cross-country being the forte of the regiment, it has nurtured exceptional talent and transformed them into extraordinary players. Wherever the unit moved, it repeatedly proved its mettle in these sports. The unit prides itself in having 8 officers who have rose to the rank of general in the Indian Army. Major General Pushpendra Singh, Lieutenant General K.K. Kohli, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal, an ex-CEO of the regiment who rose to the coveted rank of Lieutenant General. He was the General Officer commanding 21 Infantry Division Commandant Officers Training Academy, Chennai, and superannuated as Chief of Staff, Southwestern Command. Lieutenant General Gurdeep Singh, Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal. The General Officer was the second in command in the unit at Menla, a pioneer who introduced the Bofors gun system in Indian artillery. The General Officer held the coveted appointment of Director General Financial Planning and superannuated as the Commandant School of Artillery. Major General Nilendra Kumar, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal. The General Officer is the YO of the regiment, who subsequently converted to Judge Advocate General branch and was Judge Advocate General for over 8 years. He has the distinction of being the longest-serving Judge Advocate General of the Indian Army. He is a prolific writer and has earned a name for himself, both nationally and internationally. Major General Ravi Harshvardhan. The General Officer is a YO of the unit and 11th CO. He was the General Officer commanding 29 Infantry Division and superannuated as Chief of Staff 16 Corps. Lieutenant General Anil Kumar Ahuja, Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Uttam Yuddha Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Bar 2. Vishisht Seva Medal. The General Officer is a YO of the unit and 12th CO. He is not only the most accomplished and decorated General Officer of his era, but also a pioneer who introduced Bofors in the Indian Army. He commanded 5 Mountain Division and 4 Corps. He had the privilege of being the first Colonel Commandant from the regiment and was Senior Colonel Commandant for Regiment of Artillery before he superannuated in August 2016 as Deputy Chief of Integrated Defence Staff, BP and FD. He is presently an active member of Delhi Policy Group. Major General J.S. Bedi, the General Officer as YO of the unit and 13th CO. He has the distinction of being the only silver gunner in the history of 79 Medium Regiment. The General Officer took over Colonel Commandant of Group 2 units from Lieutenant General A.K. Ahuja. He has been MGGS, Training, ADG Recruiting. He superannuated in August 2017 as Commandant, Service Selection Center, Kapurthala. Major General Deepak Talwar, Sena Medal. The General Officer serving as second in command when the unit was in Kargil and is presently holding the appointment of MGOL, Headquarters, Northern Command. Apart from all the operational duties taken over by the regiment for the safeguard of the nation, we also have lots of beautiful evenings to remember. We train hard, fight harder, and party to the fullest. 79 is a family having rich traditions and pride in its members. It's an extended family of passionate soldiers, die-hard gunners, of illustrious forebears and magnanimous veterans to whom we all owe immeasurable debts of gratitude. The proudly serving and glory-seeking future generations, our ever-supportive families and beloved children. And so stands our motto, Nishchay Shubh Karman Jeet. A unique motto derived from the pearls of wisdom in the Guru Granth Sahib. NSKJ encompasses the facets of tenacious determination forged into crucible of pure intentions and righteous deeds, guarantees the regiment assured victory in all its battles, be it fair fights or insurmountable odds. The essence of NSKJ is what leads, guides and drives every 79er towards the zenith of glory, the indescribably blissful realm of Chardi Kala. Jai Hind.